right, guys. On a live last Friday, Alf Arteaga from 3 Yards Per Carry came on and told the most amazing Christian Wilkins story. I loved it. I laughed so hard. I hadn't laughed that hard in a long, long time. And, it kind of gets buried in the lives, this huge thing. And so I told Alf, I said, I'm taking your little tale and I'm going to add some bing, bang, boom to it and some graphics. And it's a little corny, I would say, maybe. Maybe it's a little hacky, but I wanted to have fun because it was such a great story. And some people will say, well, he's not here anymore. Who cares? All these players that are good to us, I love when they leave. I root for them. I watch them, except if they're going against us. Christian Wilkins is one of the greatest players we ever had. I mean, just a great guy, great personality. And the next podcast I'm going to do, a friend of mine a couple of weeks ago showed me a Chris Kaufman, the link between 3 Yards Per Carry, about how you don't need to have 2 awesome DIs to be successful. A lot of teams don't have that. And so I'm going to cover that article in the next one, but I really just wanted to take a last nostalgic look at Wilkins, say goodbye, kind of wrap up what he meant to us, and then in the next podcast show how, yeah, we'll miss him, and maybe more depending on this or maybe less depending on that, and look at our DI spot and compare it to the rest of the league to see what we got going forward. But Christian Wilkins had the most snaps, 968 last year. He was always pitted into a double. And we blitzed a lot, but not a lot as most teams. And so you had 4 guys, and it got harder once Chubb went down and Phillips went down, and the offense wasn't putting the points on. I don't think he had the greatest season. I predicted he would have his best sack total, and he did. And it wasn't his best overall season, but it wasn't really a conducive environment for him to really make hay. And he did a lot, being one of the 4 down linemen almost every single snap. And I just want to show you this little graphic. Giants director of pro scouting, Chris Rossetti, made an eye-opening point about Wilkins. I don't think he's a difference maker, pass rusher on 3rd down. I think this was last year or something. And a Giant scout on Christian Wilkins, Hard Knocks. I don't think he's a difference maker, pass rusher on 3rd downs, which is what we need opposite Dexter Lawrence. Last season, 30 of Wilkins' 66 total pressures came on 3rd down. Wilkins is a stud star player. But his personality, and if you don't understand, this game is about personality. Doesn't mean you have to be the most boisterous like Wilkins, but you have to have this drive and intense focus and personality, whether it's quiet or loud, to really have great success. And so without much further ado, Alf Arteaga from 3 Yards Per Carry, he did this story on my live. I'm going to do the live again this Friday, so guys, come on. I'm doing a live this Friday at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. And like I said, I'm going to have a little graphics to it, but just enjoy what we had here with this guy. He was hilarious. But Alf will do it much better than me, so I hope you enjoy.
Yeah, I watched Wilkins in practice all of training camp last year. And, man, he was an antagonizer on that. And every snap, really. And his favorite target was Liam Eichenberg. He used to terrorize Liam Eichenberg. And then to say that he's a talker is an understatement. Because he just wouldn't stop. He would start and he wouldn't stop. And remember, I'm in whenever they go inside, I'm in the cardio deck, so I'm hanging over the defense. And he wouldn't stop. Christian Wilkins would just not stop. And he was talking to McDaniel.
Mike! Good luck. Have a good camp, buddy.
He was talking to Frank Smith. He was talking to Liam Eichenberg. He was talking to Connor Williams.
Trillion Williams. Hell no, it's looking a long way.
He would talk to Robert Hunt, and Robert Hunt would only say the same thing over and over again. Man, shut up. Man, shut up already. Yeah, Christian Wilkins just would not stop.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Christian Wilkins' trash talk was next level. I have never seen, and I've been watching practices for 20 years. I have never seen a defensive tackle talk trash to the play caller and his head coach during practice. Him screaming across the line, "Don't call that crap, Mike." And McDaniel just staring at him like this guy, yeah, you could tell Mike McDaniel was like almost like giggling like Jesus, man.
That's so good. You're making me miss him, dude. You're making me miss him. That is so funny.
There was times they would call a wham, and you see that. And Julian Hill, nothing against Julian Hill. Julian Hill's a legitimate tough guy, but they call a wham on Julian Hill, and Julian Hill tries to crack on Wilkins, and Wilkins stones him. And you see that the play goes nowhere. It goes for maybe 2 yards, and you see Wilkins walks right over to Mike McDaniel and starts telling him, "You tried to use a tight end on me, huh? You tried to use a tight end," and he would go for like 2-3 plays. Our head coach used the tight end to block me, and you would hear him, and he'd keep going and keep going. Like, that guy set a tone. Him on defense and Tyreek on offense. Those are the guys that set the tone every single day in practice. Those guys are necessary.
That is amazing.
And somebody's going to have to step in for Christian Wilkins. Well, if he's antagonizing his head coach and the play caller in training camp, imagine what he's doing to the opponent.
Wilkins, he takes the towel of Kamara. Kamara's like, wait a minute, and he comes back, and that's when he comes back and pushes him in the back of the helmet.
They always get the second guy, don't they?
Man, you're mad. You're mad too, and you're mad. He said I'm ugly. He sees why I stay mad. That's funny. How cute. My mom told me I'm handsome. I wanted all the smoke. I got him. I got his talent. I found him out. I figured him out. Come on, y'all. I'm going to do it all day. What up, Warren? Got it here. Not on duty. Not on duty. Hey, run. You see that?
Tell me how funny that is. I mean, this guy, what a character, what a vivacious personality to drive in practice, talking to McDaniel, talking to the OC, talking to everybody all the time. It's who he is, getting under people's skin, and then bringing it over. You know how many penalties were called because of him starting stuff up? How many guys just kind of lost their game, not only by what the production he was doing, but how he was getting into their heads. Christian Wilkins is going to do great with the Raiders, hopefully not against us. But he was a stalwart piece inside that everybody had less a burden around. Now he's getting pulled out. I love Zach Sealer. It'll be interesting to see how Wilkins does without Sealer and how Sealer does without Wilkins. You never know how it plays out. It'll be very interesting, but I do love Sealer inside. But we're going to have to offset, as Alf said in that little video, the spirit. Tyreek does it on offense, but on defense, you need some vocalization. You need that spark plug to drive things. It gets ugly sometimes. You get tired. When you got a guy who's always going like that, it gives you that boost. Maybe it's Campbell. Maybe it's Shaq Barrett, Jordan Brooks. I don't know. But we're going to need that. We're going to miss that clearly. I don't think anyone's going to match that. Now, the production on the field, as I'm going to cover in the next podcast, it can get spread out. But a lot of it's not going to be just in the defense's hands or Weaver's hands. The way this team has been built is going to be highly dependent on how the offense drives things. This offense has got everything you need, except an offensive line, but maybe with what we got, we're not going to need as much. But we've got to drive points. We've got to drive opposing teams to throw that football, to chase the point so we can sit in that pass coverage. We can get them chasing and bring all our tools out. I think that if you get into that close match, that grinded out match in bad weather on the road, you're going to miss Wilkins. How much? I don't know. We'll see. I'll cover that in the next podcast. Anyway, guys, I appreciate all you guys do. There's a little bit of a short one. I just want to really focus on that little tale. There's so much goodies that you can get from guys like Alf Arteaga and beat writers who see this stuff that you don't see. And these are gems, guys. Gems to evaluating the players and just good times that football can be. So anyway, be well. Go Phins. Curtis out. Start building your own online sports book today by getting signed up with aceperhead.com service that'll allow you to book action on sports from all around the world.